Buonasera, lo spettacolo sta per cominciare. Si avverte il gentile pubblico che è assolutamente vietato fare foto con il telefonino o riprese e video con altri strumenti. Si ringrazia per la collaborazione.
When you were a kid, did you ever stand in a door frame and press the backs of your hands against the side? If you do it for a few minutes, your body sort of forgets what's really happening. And when you step out, your arms should just rise spontaneously. It's funny, isn't it? The patterns we form in our bodies and our minds expose any group of muscles, any collection of nerves, any group of people to a pressure source long enough. And we expect it to just always be there. It's tough to remember that if we just remove the structures containing us, we rise.
Thinking in circles, frozen with fear. I look at my future, drowning in tears. Potato chips, chocolate mountains so tall. I climb up and down this emotional wall. I walk round and see no way out. I stare at my toes and bruise my snout. One room, one chair, one bed, one door. All I see is my mind on the floor. I look out the window, see freedom spread wide. But is it safe yet to go outside? Potato chips and chocolate mountains so tall. I'm eating away my emotional wall. I climb out the window, fall down the abyss, wake up on the ground. Freedom is bliss. My mind is scattered and nothing but vapor. The walls that once held me are nothing but paper. Potato chips and chocolate mountains once tall are crumbling to dust like the Berlin Wall.
How does the energy translate? Nothing is ever lost. This morning I woke in a panic, and I thought about gutting a deer, but we never actually hit it. You slowed down the car in time, but I think of us gutting the deer now, and my panic slowly subsides. So how did something horrific calm my skittering, panicking mind? In truth, I panicked around schedules. Maybe that was too benign for the level of fright in my system, so I imagined myself entwined with a story more bloody and gruesome. Release through invented crime. And it's better, I feel, to keep moving even when I don't have the time, since in moving at least there's a chance for a timing that's divine. Remembering always the motto that life's too short to waste. I nevertheless do long to wake up someday with some grace. And I see you now, in the needles of a faraway craggy pine. I sense you now in the creek's foam that forms where the water twines. I feel you, myself, in the half moon that's bright 'neath the hazing clouds. And I'll find out the way through a Delphic cave in a place where the soft wind's loud. I was born of the metal of starlight in the heat of the 15th day to a wet green place on a brineless sea, good land, where my thoughts ever stray. And I'll carry myself in my pocket, invocation and song and rhyme. I'll carry my home in my eyelids, though sleepless they be in this time. I'll carry my light in my pen cap, protecting the flow of me, a deep clear well and a shelter as well, and the ink that is running free. The time for moving is always, and the time for stillness is too. The flow of this fear that runs through me is part of the story, too.
My daughter Hannah was laid off during the pandemic and had to move back in with me. After months of applying for jobs, she finally landed one running an online help chat box for an insurance company. By the time the customer is typing back and forth with my daughter, they're probably already at the end of their rope, trying to navigate menus or listening to hours of crappy hold music. So I do understand why they're rude. But all the same, that's still my girl they're writing to. From what Hannah tells me, the chatbox clientele are equal parts pervy weirdos, asking her what she's wearing and the like, and people who think she's just another robot built into the website, and type in single-word search terms followed by obscenities when they don't instantly get back what they want. It's like how young people talk to Siri these days. You know, "Hey Siri, why are you such a stupid bitch?" Never abuse technology that's already exponentially smarter than you, and might become sentient within the next 3 years. That's what my ex-husband used to say. Probably paranoid, but who knows? Anyway, the most memorable chatbox story Hannah's shared isn't actually disgusting at all. This lady just started the conversation with, "Is this ever going to end?" I realize probably she meant the layers of help services she had already tried, but still, isn't that more or less what we're all asking?
There's a boundary in this space. There's no grace if you cross it.
There's a case to be made for the space. Though you've lost it.
Can't recall now the time when the reason and the rhyme were still clear. Life so dear. What was ours? Now yours or mine.
Everything cut and dried, little portions sealed and tied, wrapped in plastic, single use. Just dispose it, it's refuse.
Nothing doubled, nothing shared, no bare noses in the air, only masked ones, still raised high, looking down at unshared pie.
Where's the virtue? Where's the love? Where's the sharing? Now we are gloved.
Now we're masked with eyes downcast. Now we're mulling first to last.
On what was and is and will be? Can we ever again see what we saw and felt before?
Is there more? Is our life now all behind a sealed door? Is this war or gently sinking?
Out of space and time and more?
In my pod.
In my pod.
I don't say yes, I simply nod when an affirmation really is just absolutely needed.
Usually a simple no, or obfuscate with, well, you know.
Is all that's really proper?
And it's easier this way.
Since I never really liked it, all the hustle and the bustle.
All the fluids.
Achoo!
Noise and mess.
All the small talk and commuting.
All the forced, unpleasant hugs.
All the waiting for latecomers. All the questions met with shrugs.
But there was something.
In the waiting.
In meeting eyes.
In firm handshakes.
There was something in the traffic.
Of our mornings' long commutes.
Something magic.
Something real.
Something absent now on Zoom.
What we say now matters deeply. Little room for knowing looks.
Little room for fix it later. Forge alliance. Cook the books.
Now we're standing all alone and on a digital cliff top. No one's waiting at the bottom, none to catch us if we drop.
So now we must watch what we say, like careful, crafty cooks, dropping spices leaf by leaflet, lest our words should be mistook.
On a screen, our gestures stilted.
On a screen, expressions flat.
On a screen, we're quadrisected. Top sans bottom, front sans back.
Change your background to be quirky.
Buy a scarf or wear a hat.
Anything to start a party, anything to get a laugh, anything to trick myself into believing this will pass.
Fighting back the dawning knowledge, This is quite sustainable. It's efficient, saves on money, and it's also frameable.
But without the real presence, there's no flashing in the pan. Great ideas pouring quickly, running fast until they're out. Many worthless, many fleeting, and a few worth fighting about.
Till the answer swims up finally, and the work is all hashed out. Over tables wide and littered, food and papers strewn about.
And the air that's charged with lightning.
And the whiteboard streaked with words.
And the hearts that from entraining
now beat steady, beat as one.
So many places, so many paths we can call home.
There is no limit, no space, no distance
where I can feel to be at home. Home, 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 home.
Sometimes
I'm lost, sometimes I'm daunting. I always know that home is near. So I step forward into the unknown and fly back home, dissolving fear.
home, 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 home.
Home, home, home.
Trapped in emotion, my mind far gone. I look for answers where there are none.
So I look inwards and quiet down. Only my heart knows where there is home. Home, home, home. Home, home, home. Home.
Do you ever feel like you're just portaging through your life? Like you're gliding down the river of existence and suddenly you hit some rapids so rough you have to get out and carry your canoe for a few miles until the river is passable again. And you keep checking over your shoulder to see if the water is any calmer, and it never seems to be. But eventually, your arms and back get so tired from carrying your canoe that you figure, well, you've got to give it a shot. So you get back in and you just ride the river with as much skill and heart and audacity as you can muster.
Wife Carrie Ann's been telling me my drinking's taken off like a storm since April. Well, I think Carrie Ann simply cannot make peace with the fact her own pill popping has been on the rise quite a bit longer than that. Now, she can blame the damn pandemic for all the things gone wrong in my life, but I'll tell you honestly, things was going wrong in hers a hell of a lot long before that. Carrie Ann divorced me this year, this pandemic. She claimed there'd been a line crossed, that domestic violence had arisen. And I told her, as I told our therapist, that my storming out and picking up and moving her out the way when she blocked the door was not a violent act. That I had to get out of there for both our safety. That my laying hands on her in that moment was to spare violence being committed and not to commit it. Or I tell you, they didn't see it that way. I tell you, they rarely do.
The personal becomes the political when lives on the line stand up for each other. Hearts break, world quakes, and what can I do? My friendships and family allegiances showing, all called to account, and the winds of change blowing. But I'm trapped in confusion, in fear and in guilt, like a long sword in butter sunk up to the hilt. And I'm not supposed to be this way, ruptured and useless, not supposed to be cowardly, frozen and fruitless. I see what is happening, but scared I'll be caught, I hide in a bubble, survey all I've bought, and think maybe next time I'll stand up and say, what's happened to George Floyd's not passing away. The day is now coming when enough people say, we're turning away from a system that's broken, a dream that's gone wrong, a dream that's denied to too many, too long. I'm so scared I'll lose others, that I lose myself. Don't bother to forge myself, for fear that the wealth of friendships and families spread across the aisle will pass away, burn away, given a while. If ever I step up and learn and speak out, if ever I don't agree, bring out my doubt. A coward's path's easy. A coward's path calls. But really, on that path, there's nothing but walls that press ever inward and stomp out the light, that carry our hearts off and leave only fright. A voice in a space is a powerful force, and it's almost as strong as a body. But if it's not mine, then is it yours? Too many have gone already. And what does it mean to stand with a friend? Now that the world is breaking, what does it mean to finally end something 400 years in the making? A country bereft of distraction turns inward to its screens. A country kept home from the workplace that finally hears the screams. And what can we do when it's all gone askew, and those from both sides of the aisle use the same language now to call up from the blue a specter of inhuman bile against a lone person, against a whole race, against anyone deemed to be different. But maybe the fight is not straight black and white, but the line where humanity's changing, a call to be kinder and slower and calm, a time to meet eyes, not always to look down at a phone or a paper or a big TV screen, but instead to now steadily wean our hearts from the thought that we're all just alone, and our minds from the lie we could cast the first stone. There's an utterance of truth in the rage and destruction, reminding us all that our world needs construction, alliance, forgiveness, the green stem of trust that's born of reality, born out of must. No time like the present to look at the past. No time like the present to rejoice, first to last, that at least we're still living. Another sun rises. At least we're still living. Not all have reprises of the chance to be different, to look, listen, feel. A chance to be different, to help this world heal. Our time here is precious. This sweet life is fleeting. We cannot return to the shootings and beatings. Instead, let's make room for the growth that's to come. Instead, let's remember we're more than the sum. No part is distinct from humanity's reach. No part is impervious to compassion's reach. We've found out for certain it's harder to be committed to presence, to make all people free, than to hide in denial, racism, or rage, to let our own egos take up the whole stage, when really the stage must be left bare today, the microphone's on, to give others a say.
Where do we go from here? We've come to a crossroads that doesn't so much represent choice as the need to prepare ourselves for whatever's coming next. What will we hold on to? What will we let go? It isn't always a matter of perspective, good judgment, learning from our mistakes so we can avoid making them again in the future. Sometimes it's just surrender, forgiveness for the many, many things we've lost, for the roads left untraveled, for the communal grief denied, for the death, the unprecedented global catastrophic loss, for our own fear, failings, self-doubt, and confusion in this time. Forgiveness for the fact that we still don't know what's coming, not really, not actually, not even a little bit. It's a crossroads we can prepare for only in as much as we can let go. Things that no longer serve. Conceit, myopia, self-centeredness, cruelty to other and to self. In the end, it's not we who come to the crossroads, it's the crossroads that comes to us. We surrender to what we cannot control because we have no choice. We were and are pursued, certainly, by all we've committed, treasured, clung to. And yet, when we arrive at the crossroads, we do so naked and alone. Surrender, forgiveness, trust. The only refuge left to us.
Buonasera, buonasera, grazie mille, grazie mille. Mi chiamo Selena Milewski e questo è Karl Bauman, il quartetto Alchimia. Siamo estatici per essere qui. Grazie al teatro e al quartetto e alla pubblica. E grazie speciale a Madame Livia Pomodoro. Grazie mille.